Hello and welcome to this tutorial. It's an introduction to accelerometers, and I'm gonna do a series of videos that will eventually use these sensors in a project. So this is an accelerometer, and accelerometers have become pretty ubiquitous now. These are the things that allow us to determine position. So probably the most common example of this is in our smartphones. It's basically the same sensor that allows you to determine orientation. So when you turn your phone to the side, it can flip the whole screen and stuff. Use an accelerometer. Let's see, I guess Fitbits and such use these. Any sort of device like that. Wiimotes, if you have a Wii, still have a Wii, like I do, and you play those things, they're basically based in accelerometers, and you can see the kind of power Wiimotes have a number of different things going on, but a lot of games are based on accelerometer movement, little tilty games and such like that. So you can see how we can maybe use a sensor in a lot of different projects. This particular accelerometer, and I'm going to kind of focus on this, is the MPU6050. And the reason for that is because it's pretty readily available. It's very inexpensive. So you can buy a bunch of them and mess up on them, or use them in a bunch of different projects. And there's a lot of support for them. So just to show you here, there's MPU6050 in Amazon UK and then Amazon.com. £3, $3, cheaper than a coffee, cheaper than a Starbucks. Yeah, so you can order these. They're lots of different vendors are widely available. Some of these come from China, so I think generally the cheaper ones, and they might take a little bit longer. But I imagine you can get some ones who have them in stock locally. You just might have to pay a slight bit more. Okay, and so so this is the sensor we're going to be using when you use the MPU6050. We're going to be doing a number of things like installing libraries. But if you want more information on this particular sensor, and also just in general, accelerometers, this in fact combines an accelerometer and a gyroscope, so you can get X, Y, and Z. Basically, you can get tilt forward, tilt back, tilt to the left, tilt to the right, and then if you spin along a parallel axes. Okay, so here is a great website, and just you can see the address there. Geekmon Projects. I think she talks here about the chip itself, and in particular the MPU6050, and then goes through and presents some code. This is not exactly the code we'll be using. I've used it, it works fine, but just not to confuse you so much, we'll be using slightly different code. But this gives a good introduction. This page as well talks a little bit about the math of how it's actually calculated. If you're into that and want to learn about more, there's an Arduino website, talks about it. And then the library that we will be using basically kind of follows this tutorial. This it's the best tutorial. I trust them. And yeah, so we're going to be hooking it up to our Arduino, and then using this library here to grab, it's the same one in this tutorial, to grab data, and then using it in various applications like Super Collider for audio, manipulating audio. Might try to do a pure data PD one. No promises, but hopefully I'll get to that. And then processing as well to control graphics as well. Okay, so let me end the introduction there, just to tell you a little bit about it, show you the sensor, give you some resources to look at. I'm gonna cover this in quite a bit of detail, so you can skip the ones you don't need. So the next video will actually just be simply soldering the headers onto kind of like an unpacking video. Okay, well, good luck.